This is Newsbeat from OU Daily. I'm Peggy Dodd.
I'm Megan Pratt.
And here's your weekly headlines. It was a heavy news week in the city space. We'll start with the 9-hour-long council meeting on Tuesday. Firstly, the city amended the meeting agenda on Monday to add in a vote to improve a tax increment finance district, or TIF, committee. The agenda was initially released last week on Thursday and did not mention the TIF. The TIF will support the construction of a $1 billion entertainment district in University North Park. A TIF is used to support the redevelopment, infrastructure, and community improvement projects within a certain area with the intent of drawing private investment.
On to what actually happened Tuesday night. Norman City Council members voted to settle with the estate of Marconia Kessee for $650,000. Kessee was found unresponsive in a cell at the Cleveland County Detention Center on January 16, 2018. This was 2 hours after an altercation with police where Kessee was taunted and dragged across pavement. Kessee would later be pronounced dead at Norman Regional Hospital. The family sued the city in 2019. Ward 4 Council member Helen Grant wanted to highlight the case during the meeting. Here's Grant.
Councilmember Grant.
I'd just like to mention item 33. It's a settlement. It says Thompson versus City of Norman. It's actually Marconia Kessee. I would like to highlight this settlement in part because it may meet the community demand for justice around his death, and it is a reminder that these gaps in our system create dehumanizing conditions actually do have a cost associated with them.
Next, council approved an affordable housing complex on Imhoff Road and Oakhurst Avenue called the Crimson Flats. The complex would include 75 1- and 3-bedroom units and must be considered affordable for 40 years. Council then discussed the TIF District Committee. During the meeting, City Attorney Catherine Walker said the city currently did not have a project plan for the entertainment district. She explained that forming the committee without a plan would just be the start of the process. Ward 5 Councilmember Michael Nash said he wouldn't support the committee, saying it was premature. Several city leaders asked council to approve the committee, including Executive Director for Visit Norman Dan Shim and CEO of the Norman Chamber of Commerce Scott Martin. University administration also showed up to ask council to approve the committee. OU Vice President and Director of Athletics Joe Consiglione said it unites the university and the city. Here's what Consiglione said.
We're part of a special moment in time, and we're faced with opportunities to make the most of it, and I think this is one of them. We have a chance to be part of a transformative project for the city of Norman and our county of Cleveland County that really serves many, many people. I know that there'll be talk of an arena, and for us, that is a very good thing because it allows us to continue to bring people to Norman, to marry the town gown, to represent this city, this state on a national scale. And why that happens is because facilities are very important to the growth of programs and the attraction of the best people, whether it's athletes, coaches, how it transcends to the rest of the campus, other people come into this community. So tonight I ask that you support this.
OU philosophy professor Stephen Ellis talked at the meeting in favor of postponing. Here's Ellis.
The advantage of this plan is that it gives the public a chance and the city council a chance to have a look at what the project plan is likely to be. You're in a slightly better situation than the rest of us are because you know at least some of you know something about what's being proposed. And notice there's zero barrier from the University of Oklahoma or the OU Foundation or OU Athletics from announcing what they're proposing right now and doing this in public, which would be the transparent way to do it.
A motion to postpone the vote until a project plan was secured failed. During discussion to approve the committee, Nash questioned the validity of a committee and an arena in the entertainment district. Here's Nash.
The moment that we form this committee, we lose any leverage that we have to make this thing into something that we want. Because if we create this committee, they can bring information to that committee. Now, there's nothing preventing them from bringing this information to the public on their own accord. The only thing that's preventing them from bringing information to us is themselves. We don't need a committee for that. In fact, as long as we don't have a committee, they have some incentive to bring back something that the public can really get behind. And I'm not trying to say that this project should be shot down immediately. This thing has the makings of something that can be a great thing for the community. And what I've been telling them from the very beginning is that the community doesn't want it. They don't care that much about an arena. And if they don't care about an arena or more restaurants, then you're going to have to sell this to the public with the intangible returns. Because honestly, the business model's flimsy.
Ultimately, the committee was formed in a narrow vote of 5-4, with Nash, Grant, Ward 3 Councilmember Bree Montoya, and Ward 2 Councilmember Lauren Schuler voting against.
Council next went to discuss an over $900,000 allocation to support school resource officers for Norman Public Schools. Discussion included council questioning overtime pay budgeting and consideration of students' concerns. Schuler asked NPS Superintendent Nick Migliorino what happens if the county stops paying for the 17 officers they provided for all of NPS elementary schools. Migliorino said NPS currently doesn't have a plan, but that decision is ultimately up to the county. Council ultimately approved the school resource officer funding in a vote of 7-2, with Schuler and Grant voting against. To find out more about the school resource officer program, visit oudaily.com to see prior coverage.
Lastly, Council discussed the AIM Norman Ad Hoc Steering Committee. The Council removed the former chair of AIM Norman, Elizabeth McKinney, who resigned at the November 8th meeting. McKinney had cited continued delays as the reason for her resignation. Council also voted not to remove several partners from the committee who requested their own removal. The organizations include Cleveland County Commissioners, Visit Norman, Sooner Mall, Sooner Centurions, Hitachi Ventara, Chickasaw Nation Industries, Norman Economic Development Coalition, and the Norman Regional Health System. The groups serve in a non-voting capacity. You can see the Daily's complete city council coverage on our website.
In other city news, the Red Rock Behavioral Health Facility was named the Certified Community Behavioral Health Clinic for Cleveland and McLean counties. Certified Community Behavioral Health Clinics are a new Medicaid provider type offered across the state. This comes after the announcement that a new mental health hospital will be built in Oklahoma City, replacing Griffin Memorial Hospital. Red Rock currently sits on the Griffin Memorial Hospital campus and will remain after the hospital's move.
The City of Norman's Adult Wellness and Education Center opened its doors officially on Monday. The center will serve Normanites age 50 and up with activities and classes that promote wellness, education, and community engagement. A press release from the city says the center aims to be a cornerstone of the community.
Cleveland County's Continuum of Care service providers are preparing for the annual point-in-time count of the city's unhoused population. The Continuum's goal is not to offer services, but to promote collaboration among community-based service providers to consider solutions to homelessness. Those providers include Food and Shelter, the Norman Housing Authority, Caravans, Thunderbird Clubhouse, and others. April Dosher, Executive Director of Food and Shelter, said the Continuum has a formal structure to help achieve its mission. Here's Dosher.
Forming our continuum of care has allowed us to work together more effectively to use the funds that we have in a more strategic way so that we can ensure, there's not as many gaps, which there's so many gaps just because the need is so great and the funding is so minimal.
Karen Canavan is the executive director of the Norman Housing Authority. She told OU Daily that the Continuum enhances the capabilities of the Housing Authority and vice versa. Here's Canavan.
It's like having two departments within your company. If they talk often and they know what each department needs, everything runs smoother and faster and improves efficiencies.
To read more about the Continuum, visit oudaily.com.
In education, the NPS Board of Education approved plans for a new Oklahoma Aviation Academy facility on Monday. The building will be located near OU's Max Westheimer Airport. NPS will plan, develop, construct, and operate the facility. OU, the Moore Norman Technology Center, and industry partners from the public and private sectors will work with the district to create an aviation program for high school students.
A Norman High School student was honored this week at the White House during the Class of 2023 National Student Poet Ceremony by First Lady Jill Biden. Kaylin McKinney was selected as the Southwest Region National Student Poet and read a poem to the First Lady. To read more on the story from Gaylord News, visit oudaily.com.
Lastly, on campus, the OU College of Earth and Energy named former CEO of Devon Energy, John Larry Nichols as the 2023 Oklahoma Trailblazer. This award recognizes those in the energy industry who have left a legacy for others to follow, according to an OU press release.
Let's look at the Daily's calendar for coming events this week. On Friday night, OU men's basketball plays University of Texas at Rio Grande Valley in Norman, and OU wrestling competes in Little Rock. On Saturday, OU football plays BYU in Utah, and OU volleyball plays in Cincinnati. The Daily's calendar of events is filling up. The calendar tab on our website features campus, city, and statewide events.
If you like what you see from student media, Giving Tuesday is coming up later this month. On November 28th, the Daily will be fundraising. You can find more details at oudaily.com/donate. A special episode of Newsbeat will air on Monday, November 27th. This episode will feature OU Daily staffers talking about their stories featured in our winter magazine.
Thanks for listening to Newsbeat from OU Daily. This is the Daily's weekly news podcast. New episodes of Newsbeat will air every Friday. In between episodes, keep up with us throughout the week on Facebook and X at OU Daily and Instagram and Threads at the OU Daily. Sports fans, be sure to check out the OU Daily Sports Podcast for the latest in sports and commentary.
If you'd like to read more about the stories you heard on this podcast, you can find those and more online at oudaily.com. My name is Megan Pratt. I am a news reporter here at the OU Daily.
My name is Peggy Dodd. I'm a news editor here at the OU Daily.
We'll see you here next week on the Newsbeat.